In the glittering world of entertainment, few names have captured both admiration and intrigue, quite like Tracy Edmonds and Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. Their story isn't just one of love and artistic collaboration, it's a complex tapestry woven with threads of ambition, power dynamics, and secrets that have lingered in the shadows of Hollywood for decades. Tracy Edmonds, the dynamic media mogul who rose from modest beginnings to become a force in television production, married Babyface, the legendary R&B singer-songwriter and producer whose velvet smooth voice and genius compositions defined an entire musical era. Together they formed a power couple that seemed untouchable until now. The revelation that has sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry emerged during Tracy's recent intimate interview on her popular podcast series, Behind Closed Doors. What started as a casual conversation about their shared past quickly unraveled into something far more profound and unsettling. As Tracy spoke, her words painted a picture of a marriage far darker than anyone could have imagined, exposing layers of control, manipulation, and hidden truths that had remained buried beneath their public facade of success and harmony. This disclosure comes at a pivotal moment in both their careers and personal lives. With Tracy's continued rise in the media landscape and Babyface's enduring legacy in music, the timing of this revelation couldn't be more significant. It's not just another celebrity scandal, it's a deeply personal account that challenges everything we thought we knew about one of music's most celebrated figures. The implications extend beyond their immediate circle, raising questions about power dynamics and relationships within the entertainment industry and the price of fame when intertwined with personal life. As we delve deeper into Tracy's shocking revelations, we find ourselves facing uncomfortable truths about the intersection of love, ambition, and control in high-profile relationships. This isn't merely gossip or sensationalism. It's a cautionary tale that peels back the curtain on what really happens behind closed doors in Hollywood's most glamorous unions. To fully grasp the gravity of Tracy Edmonds' recent revelations, one must understand the extraordinary trajectory that brought both her and Babyface to the pinnacle of their respective industries. Tracy's journey began in humble circumstances, growing up in Southern California with dreams that extended far beyond her immediate surroundings. Her early career in television production demonstrated a remarkable business acumen, quickly establishing her as a formidable player in the entertainment world. By the age of 30, she had already founded her own production company, making waves with groundbreaking programming that challenged industry norms. Babyface's path to superstardom was equally impressive, but markedly different. Born Kenneth Edmonds in Indianapolis, his musical talent emerged early, leading him to become one of the most sought-after producers and songwriters in the music industry. His work with artists like Whitney Houston, Madonna, and Boyz II Men not only defined an era of R&B, but also cemented his status as a musical genius. The velvet tones of his voice combined with his exceptional songwriting ability made him a household name, earning him multiple Grammy Awards and countless accolades. Their worlds collided in 1992, creating what appeared to be the perfect union of business savvy and musical brilliance. Tracy's production expertise complemented Babyface's artistic vision, resulting in numerous successful collaborations that blurred the lines between professional partnership and romantic relationship. They married in 1995, marking the beginning of what many considered the ultimate power couple in entertainment. Their combined influence seemed unstoppable, with Tracy producing hit television shows while Babyface continued to dominate the music chart. The couple's public image was meticulously crafted, Tracy portrayed as the strong, independent businesswoman balancing family and career, while Babyface maintained his reputation as the sensitive, soulful artist. Together, they became the face of successful modern relationships, frequently appearing together at industry events and sharing their story of love and mutual support. Their home became a hub for A-list celebrities, politicians, and industry titans, further solidifying their status as royalty in the entertainment world. What made their partnership particularly compelling was how seamlessly they integrated their professional and personal lives. Tracy managed much of Babyface's business affairs, while he contributed to her television projects, creating an apparent synergy that seemed almost too perfect. Industry insiders often marveled at how they navigated the challenging waters of maintaining separate careers while building a family together. Their twin sons became a symbol of their unity, completing the picture-perfect image they presented to the world. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a complex web of dependencies and power dynamics. Tracy's business empire grew exponentially through her association with Babyface, while his career benefited from her strategic management skill. This mutual dependence created a unique balance of power that would later prove to be both their greatest strength and their most significant vulnerability. The couple's public appearances always radiated warmth and affection, but those closest to them began noticing subtle signs of tension that contradicted their carefully maintained image. It was during a particularly raw moment on her podcast that Tracy Edmonds finally broke her silence, revealing details that would fundamentally alter public perception of their seemingly idyllic marriage. There were nights, she confessed, her voice trembling with emotion, when the man who sang about love so beautifully would transform into someone I barely recognized. The contrast between Babyface's public persona and his private behavior painted a chilling picture of emotional manipulation and psychological control that had been masterfully concealed for years. Tracy described how Babyface's need for absolute dominance extended far beyond business decisions. He controlled everything, from my wardrobe choices to who I could meet with professionally. Every aspect of my life was under his microscope. She revealed how what initially seemed like helpful advice gradually morphed into suffocating restriction. At first, I thought it was just his way of protecting our family, but it became clear that it was about maintaining complete control over me. One of the most startling revelations came when Tracy discussed the financial manipulation that kept her tethered to the relationship. I built a successful production company, but he had ways of making sure I never felt truly independent. There were secret accounts, redirected funds, and contracts I didn't know existed. Her voice caught as she explained how she discovered these machinations during their separation process. Imagine building something you're proud of, only to realize your partner had been systematically undermining your autonomy all along. The emotional abuse, according to Tracy, was perhaps the most insidious aspect of their relationship. He had this incredible ability to make you feel worthless one moment, then shower you with affection the next. It was like walking on eggshells constantly. She recounted instances where Babyface would threaten to pull funding from her projects if she disagreed with him, or publicly humiliate her at industry events when she showed any sign of independence. The worst part was that no one would believe me. How could they? He was Babyface, the man who wrote all those love songs. Perhaps most shocking was Tracy's revelation about the gaslighting tactics employed to maintain control. When I would question anything, he'd tell me I was being paranoid or imagining things. Over time, I started doubting my own perceptions. She described how this psychological warfare affected her decision-making abilities and self-confidence. There were times I questioned whether I was capable of running my own company or making basic life choices without his approval. The physical aspects of their relationship, while not violent, added another layer of complexity. Tracy revealed how Babyface used intimacy as both reward and punishment. If I complied with his wishes, there was affection. If I pushed back, there was coldness. This manipulation of emotional intimacy proved particularly damaging, creating a cycle of dependency that was difficult to break. You begin to think you're the problem, that if you just try harder, everything will be okay. What made these revelations particularly devastating was how effectively they had been hidden from public view. We were masters at keeping up appearances, Tracy admitted, the red carpet smiles, the interviews about our perfect marriage. It was all a carefully constructed facade. She explained how Babyface's position in the industry made it even more challenging to speak out. Who would believe me against the man who wrote Whip Appeal? The irony is almost too much to bear. Through it all, Tracy's courage in speaking out sends a powerful message about the importance of truth-telling, regardless of status or reputation. Her detailed account paints a picture of systematic control that went far beyond typical relationship struggles, exposing patterns of behavior that experts recognize as classic signs of emotional and psychological abuse. The entertainment community's response to Tracy Edmonds' revelations has been nothing short of seismic, with reactions ranging from stunned disbelief to cautious validation of long-held suspicion. Veteran record producer L.A. Reid, who worked closely with Babyface during their LaFace Records days, expressed measured surprise, stating, "While I can't speak to the specifics of their personal relationship, I've witnessed moments that made me question certain dynamics. Tracy's strength in coming forward is commendable." This carefully worded statement reflects a broader pattern among industry insiders who choose their words cautiously, aware of Babyface's enduring influence in the music world. Television executive Shonda Rhimes, known for her close friendship with Tracy, offered more direct support. "Tracy has always been one of the strongest women I know. If she's saying this happened, I believe. We've shared enough late-night conversations for me to understand the depth of what she endured." Rhimes's endorsement carries particular weight given her position as a powerhouse in Hollywood, suggesting that Tracy's experiences may resonate with other women in the industry who have faced similar situations, but remain silent. Perhaps most telling are the responses from younger artists who came up under Babyface's mentorship. Rising R&B star H.E., who collaborated with Babyface early in her career, expressed mixed emotions. "I learned so much from him musically, but hearing Tracy's story makes me reflect on some interactions that felt off at the time. You don't want to believe these things about someone you admire professionally." Her comments highlight a common dilemma faced by many in the industry, who have benefited from Babyface's musical guidance, while grappling with the implications of Tracy's revelations. Industry veterans have noted a shift in how similar situations are addressed compared to previous generations. Music journalist Janelle Harris observed, 20 years ago, something like this might have been dismissed or covered up. The fact that Tracy feels empowered to speak out, and that people are listening, shows how much the industry has changed." However, Harris also points out the double-edged nature of this progress. While there's more space for these conversations now, the power dynamics that allowed this situation to persist for so long still exist in many forms throughout the industry. The ripple effects extend beyond personal reactions to tangible business consequences. Several high-profile collaborations involving Babyface have reportedly been put on hold pending further development. Streaming platforms have quietly adjusted their promotional strategies around his catalog, while upcoming documentary projects about his life and career have been delayed indefinitely. These business decisions reflect a careful balancing act between acknowledging his musical contributions and addressing the serious allegations now part of his legacy. Notably, many women in the industry have privately reached out to Tracy, sharing their own stories of navigating power imbalances in professional and personal relationships. This groundswell of support has created an informal network of solidarity, with several prominent figures pledging to use their platforms to address systemic issues of control and manipulation in entertainment relationships. As one anonymous studio executive confided, Tracy's story isn't just about one marriage. It's opening eyes to patterns we've all seen, but maybe haven't wanted to confront directly. Tracy Edmonds' courageous disclosure sheds critical light on the intricate dance of power that often characterizes high-profile relationships, particularly within the entertainment industry. At its core, her experience reveals how initial attraction to a partner's success and influence can gradually transform into a complex web of dependency and control. Relationship expert Dr. Marsha Houston explains, "In partnerships where one individual holds significantly more power, whether through fame, wealth, or industry connections, there's a natural tendency for that power to seep into personal dynamics. What starts as mutual admiration can evolve into a hierarchical structure that undermines equality in the relationship." The phenomenon Tracy describes aligns with what psychologists term power differential entrapment, where the less powerful partner becomes increasingly isolated and dependent on their counterpart for both professional opportunities and personal validation. Career counselor Amanda Stevens notes, "Many professionals in creative fields confuse business partnerships with romantic relationships, especially when they're with someone established in the industry. The line between professional mentorship and personal control can blur dangerously. This blurring creates an environment where legitimate business decisions can mask manipulative behaviors, making it difficult for outsiders to distinguish between professional strategy and personal abuse." Particularly relevant to Tracy's case is how public image maintenance compounds these power dynamics. Media analyst Professor Richard Chen observes, celebrities are conditioned to protect their brand above all else. When your personal life becomes part of your professional identity, addressing problematic behavior requires confronting not just your partner, but your entire public persona. This reality helps explain why individuals in Tracy's position often remain silent despite recognizing unhealthy patterns. The fear of professional repercussions and public judgment creates an additional layer of control beyond the immediate relationship dynamics. Moreover, the entertainment industry's culture of secrecy and protection of its stars exacerbates these issues. Industry veteran and former talent manager Lisa Monroe explains, there's an unwritten code about protecting the golden goose. If a powerful figure is generating hits or drawing audiences, their personal behavior often gets up. People look the other way because the stakes are so high financially. This institutional complicity creates an environment where controlling behaviors can flourish unchecked, shielded by the very industry that benefits from the perpetrator's success. Tracy's experience also highlights the sophisticated nature of emotional manipulation in professional contexts. Business psychologist Dr. Elena Torres emphasizes, in creative industries, the language of artistic vision and brand consistency can be weaponized to justify controlling behavior. What might be flagged as problematic in a regular corporate setting gets rationalized as necessary for artistic success. This normalization of control under the guise of professional necessity makes it particularly challenging for victims to identify and address abusive patterns. The intersection of business and personal relationships in Hollywood creates unique vulnerability. Financial advisor Sarah Mitchell, who works with entertainment professionals, notes, when your partner manages your money, controls your bookings, and influences your creative direction, leaving becomes more than just an emotional decision. It's a career-ending risk. This financial entanglement, combined with industry pressure to maintain appearances, creates a perfect storm that can keep individuals trapped in unhealthy dynamics far longer than they might otherwise tolerate. Importantly, Tracy's story serves as a catalyst for re-examining how mentorship and partnership should function in professional settings. Career development specialist Marcus Wong suggests, healthy professional relationships require clear boundaries and transparent communication. When these elements are missing, particularly in the context of romantic involvement, the potential for abuse increases dramatically. This insight underscores the need for industry-wide reforms in how power dynamics are addressed and monitored within collaborative relationships. The entertainment industry's response to Tracy's revelations suggests a growing awareness of these complex dynamics. However, as workplace consultant Dr. Patricia Kim notes, real change requires more than just acknowledging the problem. It demands structural reforms in how we handle power imbalances, create safe spaces for reporting abuse, and support individuals trying to extricate themselves from toxic situations. Only through such comprehensive approaches can the industry hope to prevent future occurrences of the patterns Tracy so bravely exposed. As the dust settles on Tracy Edmonds' courageous revelations, the entertainment landscape finds itself at a crossroads of reflection and transformation. Babyface's once unassailable legacy now exists in a more nuanced context, where his musical genius must be weighed against the disturbing patterns of behavior that have come to light. Industry analysts suggest this duality may define how future generations perceive his contributions, with textbooks likely presenting a more complex portrait of his impact on music and culture. The Recording Academy has already announced plans to review its historical honors in light of new information, signaling a shift toward more comprehensive evaluations of industry figures' legacies. For Tracy, the aftermath has manifested in unexpected ways. Her production company has seen a surge in opportunities, not necessarily because of sympathy, but due to newfound respect for her resilience and leadership. Major streaming platforms have approached her with proposals for content that addresses power dynamics and abuse in the entertainment industry, recognizing her unique perspective and credibility. Notably, her upcoming documentary series Unseen Power has secured unprecedented funding, positioning her as a leading voice in discussions about systemic change within Hollywood. The broader industry response has been marked by tangible action rather than mere rhetoric. Several major studios have implemented mandatory training programs on power dynamics and healthy professional boundaries, with Tracy serving as an advisory board member for these initiatives. The establishment of the Entertainment Accountability Council marks perhaps the most significant institutional change, creating a formal mechanism for addressing power imbalances and abuse within the industry. This council, chaired by prominent female executives, represents a fundamental shift in how Hollywood addresses these critical issues. Tracy's influence extends beyond institutional changes to personal empowerment movements within the industry. Her public advocacy has inspired the formation of support networks for women executives and creatives navigating complex power dynamics. The Safe Creative Space movement, which gained momentum following her revelations, has led to the creation of safe houses and legal resources, specifically designed for entertainment professionals facing similar situations. These initiatives demonstrate how one person's courage can catalyze meaningful structural change across an entire industry. Looking ahead, the lasting impact of Tracy's disclosures seems poised to reshape fundamental aspects of how relationships and power are negotiated in Hollywood. Talent agencies have begun revising their standard contracts to include explicit protections against professional personal entanglements, while insurance companies offering E&O policies now require more stringent conflict of interest disclosure. These procedural changes reflect a deeper understanding of how power dynamics can manifest in creative industries and represent concrete steps toward preventing similar situations in the future. Perhaps most significantly, Tracy's journey demonstrates the transformative power of truth-telling and breaking cycles of abuse and control. Her story has opened doors for others in the industry to share their experiences without fear of professional retaliation, creating a ripple effect of accountability that extends far beyond her immediate circle. As she continues to build her media empire and advocate for systemic change, Tracy Edmonds' legacy evolves from that of a successful producer to a pioneering force for justice and reform in entertainment. Tracy Edmonds' revelations about her marriage to Babyface represent far more than a celebrity scandal. They illuminate fundamental truths about power, control, and resilience within the entertainment industry. What began as a seemingly perfect union of talent and ambition ultimately evolved into a complex narrative about the human capacity for both manipulation and liberation. The stark contrast between Babyface's public persona as a romantic icon and the private reality Tracy endured serves as a powerful reminder that appearances can be dangerously deceiving, especially in an industry built on carefully crafted images. This case study in celebrity relationships exposes how easily professional admiration can transform into personal subjugation when left unchecked by proper boundaries and accountability. The sophisticated nature of the control exercised, masked by industry norms and justified through business rationale, demonstrates how even the most accomplished individuals can find themselves ensnared in patterns of abuse. Yet Tracy's journey from victim to victor exemplifies the transformative power of speaking truth to power, showing that authentic strength lies not in maintaining facades but in dismantling them. The entertainment industry now stands at a pivotal moment, forced to confront uncomfortable truths about how power operates within its ranks. Tracy's courage has sparked necessary conversations about the intersection of personal and professional relationships, leading to concrete changes in how the industry addresses power imbalances. From revised contractual standards to new accountability measures, her experience has catalyzed structural reforms that promise to protect future generations of creatives and executives. Most importantly, her story validates the experiences of countless others who have faced similar situations in silence, offering both validation and a roadmap for change. As Hollywood continues to grapple with these revelations, one truth remains clear: the industry's evolution depends not just on policy changes, but on cultural shifts that prioritize transparency, equality, and genuine empowerment over the preservation of carefully maintained illusions. Tracy Edmonds' legacy will ultimately be defined not by the darkness she endured but by the light she brought to these critical issues, illuminating a path forward for an industry ready to redefine its values and priorities.